Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, welcome to this video, guys. My name is Liaquat. If you guys are not familiar with my YouTube channel, Roots of Knowledge, please check out the videos. If you like them, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share them with others as well. Right, so this series is dedicated to helping you guys to understand Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. Right, we have reached the Kitab al-Hajar. Do you guys remember how I translated the word Hajar in the last video? So if you guys remember, put it in the comments below. So we're going to start off now. So I'm going to try to just mention certain words which I feel are difficult because it's quite a lot to go through today. So you've been warned. قال أبو حنيفة لا يحجر. Okay, so hajar, restriction. Safi is someone who is considered to be someone who is mentally incompetent. Right, so mentally incompetent. Let's put mentally incompetent. إذا كان عاقل, sane, بالغ is adult, حر is free. تصرف, dealings. مبذر, this is someone who squanders their wealth, wastes their wealth, squanders it. Mufsid, someone who perishes or spoils their wealth. Gharad, it's objective. Maslaha is interest, in the interest of someone or in the benefit. Yutlifu, to destroy. Yuhriqu, to burn. Balagha, to reach puberty. Ghulam, a young boy. Rashid, someone who is intelligent. Okay, so just put intel. Lam yusallim, to hand over. Hatta balagha khamsan, so balagha, to reach. Khamsan wa ishrina is 25. Tasarruf, we done that. Nafadha, it means it will be executed. So to execute something. Tasarruf, we done this before. Balagha, to reach. Ishrina sana. Khamsan ishrin, so khamsa is 5. Ishrin is 20. Okay, let's move this up. And then you got sallama, to hand over. Sallama yusallimu taslim. Mal, wealth. Yu'nas is to feel comfortable. Minhu ar-rushd. Rushd means intellect. Right, so Rashid, so it came before. Intellect. قال أبو يوسف يحجز. So this is, remember you find the word. It's actually interdiction. Ala Safi. Safi is someone who is mentally not well. So it's not insane, but the person is mentally not competent. ويمنع من التصرف. Tasarruf is dealings. باع, to sell. ينفذ, to be executed. Malihi, kind of maslaha is interest. Hakim is the ruler or the qadi, the judge. A'taqa is to free, emancipate. Nafadha, itquhu, itq means freedom. Yas'a, it means to work. Qimat means price or value. وإن تزوج امرأة جاز nikah. Nikah is marriage. And samma is to mention. Mahar is dowry. And the miqdar, amount. Batala, to become void. Fadal, the excess. Qala, they said. في من بلغ غير رشيد, not intellect. لا يدفع إليه مال أبدا, ever. يؤنس, you done that. Rushd, done that. تخرج is to take out. Yunfaq, spend. Okay, let's go up. There's a lot today, isn't it? Al-Awlad, Zawja, wife. Zawi is possessor of Arham. Arham means womb. And possessor of Arham basically means close kin. Arada Hajjat al-Islam. Hajjat al-Islam means basically Hajj, the Hajj of Islam. La yusallim al-Qadi. Qadi is the judge, to hand over. Nafaqa, spending. Wa yusallimuha, hands it over. Ila thiqa, reliable person. Al-Hajj. Hajj means people doing Hajj, Hajis. Yunfiquha, tariq, in the journey. Marad, illness. Awsa, it makes a bequest. Wasaya is bequests. Qurab is a virtuous act. Abwab is doors of khair, goodness. Thuluth is a third. Okay. Anyway, that's the words done. Now let's have a go at tarkeeb. It's going to take a bit of time as well, so let's have a go at that. You guys love tarkeeb lovers. قال أبو حنيفة. Okay. لا يحجز مجهول على السفيه إذا كان عاقلا خبر بالغا حر. 3 خبرs. وتصرفه في ماله جار مجرور جائز is the خبر. That's the مبتدا. إن كان مبذرا, this is مبذر. مفسدا خبر. يتلف أتلف يتلف ماله مفعول به. لا غرض لا نفي الجنس. لا مصلحة مثل أن يتلفه في البحر أو يحرقه في النار، إلا أنه قال إذا بلغ الغلام فاعل بلغ الغلام غير رشيد لم يسلم إليه ماله we hand it over حتى يبلغ 25 سنة، وإن تصرف من قبل ذلك نفذ تصرفه، فإذا بلغ 25 سنة سلم سلم إليه ماله نائب فاعل of سلم. وإن لم يؤنس مجهول منه الرشد نائب فاعل. قال أبو يوسف ومحمد يحجز على السفيه ويمنع من التصرف والمجهول في ماله، فإن باع لم ينفذ. Okay, it's all straightforward, guys. بيعه, this is the نائب فاعل في ماله، وإن كان فيه مصلحة أجازه الحاكم، وإن أعتق عبدا نفذ إتقه is the نائب فاعل. وكان على العبد أن يسعى في قيمته، وإن تزوج امرأة جاز نكاحه، فإن سمى لها مهرا جاز منه مقدار مهر مثلها مضاف إليه. بطل الفضل في الفاعل. قال في من بلغ غير رشيد لا يدفع إليه ماله again same as before أبدا حتى يؤنس مجهول الرشد so this is رشد. ولا يجوز تصرفه. وتخرج الزكاة نائب فاعل من مال السفيه، وينفق منه على أولاده وزوجته مجرور. ومن تجب new sentence من تجب نفقته عليه من ذوي الأرحامه، فإن أراد حجة الإسلام مضاف إليه مفعول به لم يمنع منها ولا يسلم القاضي النفقة مفعول به ويسلمها إلى ثقة من الحاج جار مجرور ينفقها عليه في طريق الحج، فإن مرض وأوصى بوصايا في القرب وأبواب الخير المجرور معطوف onto this جاز ذلك في ثلث ماله. Okay, so let's look at the masail now. So I'm going to try to, I think what I'll do is I'll just summarize what they're saying, right? And then we can quickly just go through the text. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw here a line. And what I'll do is I'll put over here Abu Hanifa, and on this side Imam Abu Yusuf and Muhammad. So this masala is divided up into 2 parts. Okay, there's 2 parts in this masala. The first is with regards to someone who is known as a Safi. Alright, so a Safi, so all of this, if I was to draw it this way then, as Safi, this all is to do with Safi. And then this is to do with someone who has become adult. Okay, balagha, he reached the age of puberty. Safi. So someone who's a Safi reached the age of puberty. So okay, so there's this, imagine for example like, try over here. Imagine there's an individual. This guy is a Safi. Basically he's not mentally unwell, but he is considered to be, someone who is mentally incompetent, right? So mentally incompetent. Okay, so mentally incompetent. That means that he doesn't really know how to use his wealth properly. can the government put restrictions on this individual from buying and selling, because he might just end up just squandering all his wealth away and messing it all up. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, what does he say? Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, he says that no, you cannot put restrictions on a Safi so long as he is adult, sane, like he's not mentally out of capacity, and he's a free person. The government does not have the right. It's only these three individuals that the government has the right to put restrictions on them. Right? So you cannot put any restrictions on them. And they are allowed to buy, sell, etc. All these things. What if this person is clearly known for wasting their wealth, burning their wealth? They would burn their money, they would waste their money. What about this? What would happen if they are well known for doing this? Then that's fine. They can do it. I mean, you can't really stop anyone from destroying their wealth. That's between them and between their own wealth. Clearly it's against Islam. It's something which is not Islamically right thing to do. But the person has the right to do whatever they want, like a normal person. Okay, so this is what they say. On the other hand, the Sahibain, they actually say, yes, you can put restrictions on this individual. You can stop them from buying and selling. Yeah, you can stop. And in fact, let's say, for example, the judge sees that one of their transactions was a really good one. The judge can allow it as well. So this guy has gone and, let's say, bought a really good computer. And the judge thought, whoa, this is actually really good. He actually can allow that transaction to go through. Yeah, so the judge can allow that to go through. And his slave, if he has a slave and he's freed his slave, that slave will actually go free. Remember, Abu Hanifa allows all of this anyway, because Abu Hanifa treats this individual like a normal adult, a normal, sane adult. And if he was to get married, what about the mahar issue? Would that go through? Yes. But the mahar can only be what we call mahar mithal. Right? So let's say, for example, he marries a girl. And he stipulates that he's going to give her mahar of £500. And that £500 is the average what women normally get. So, for example, in that society, women normally get, let's say, £400, for example. Or women normally get, let's say, £600 mahar. Yeah, and clearly he has given 500, so that's well below the normal average. So that's fine, that is. If he was to give above this, if he gave 700, then the government can step in and cancel out the extra. The extra would be cancelled, and the woman would only be given up to 600. Right, so that is valid, and the extra would not be valid. Okay, so let's have a look. قال أبو حنيفة. So he says, Imam Abu Hanifa says, لا يحجر على سفيه. This Safi guy, you cannot put restrictions on this Safi guy. إذا كان عاقلا بالغا حرا. So long as he is adult, sane, free. وتصرف في ماله جائز. And his dealings in his wealth are all jais. You can't put it onto him. So he's buying, selling, everything. وإن كان مبذرا مفسدا. Even if he is a mubadhir, means someone who, they squander their wealth, they waste their wealth. Mufsidan destroys their wealth, spoils it, messes up their car, scratches up their car. Yutlifu malahu, destroying their wealth. Fima la gharada, in which there's no benefit in. Wala maslaha, and no interest. Mithla an yutlifahu fil bahri, such that he destroys it in the sea. He gets his money, puts it in a bag and just throws it in the middle of the sea. Or yuhriqahu fil nar, or even burns it. Abu Hanifa said he's got the right to do that. Although from an Islamic point of view, it wouldn't be the right thing to do, but he has the full right to do such a thing. Okay, so this is considered to be something which is jaiz. Abu Hanifa. So Abu Hanifa is basically saying that, look, because he's an adult, you cannot say anything to him of how he's using his wealth. Yeah, you have to let him use his wealth as he sees fit. However, Imam Abu Hanifa does say this. He says, what about the person who has reached the age of puberty? So let's come back to that one. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. And we'll go to what Sahibain say. Yeah, so let me see if I can find the Sahibain statement. All right, so this is Sahibain statement. Sahibain, they say, وقال أبو يوسف ومحمد يحجر على سفيه. Safi will have restrictions put on him. وَيُمْنَعْ مِنَ التَّصَرُّفِ فِي مَالِهِ, and restrictions will be put onto his dealing of his own wealth. فَإِنْ بَاءَ لَمْ يُنَفَّذْ, if he was to buy something, it will not go through. بَيْعُهُ فِي مَالِهِ, regarding his own wealth. وَإِنْ كَانَ فِيهِ مَصْلَحَةٌ, but if he was to buy something which is beneficial for him, like a laptop, أَجَازَهُ الْحَاكِمُ, the judge can actually allow that to go through. وَإِنْ أَعْتَقَ عَبْدًا, what if he frees a slave? نُفِّذَ, this will actually go free, but then he's kind of like maybe just randomly without thinking freed a slave. كَانَ عَلَى الْعَبْدِ أَنْ يَسْعَى فِي قِيمَتِهِ, the slave has to work off his own price. So the slave will have to go get a job, make the money and pay back. Yeah, so for example, let's say the slave is worth, let me try to draw it over here. So for instance, let's say the slave is worth £1,000. That's his value. This guy now has gone and freed the slave. Yeah, said, you're free. Woohoo. So he's gone free now. Yeah, he's happy. But what he has to do, he's got to pay him. The judge is going to tell the slave, you have to make this money and you have to pay him back. Yeah, that money. That's basically what has to happen over here. The money has to be compensated somehow. Yeah, because the guy isn't really kind of in his right mind to do all this. So he says, وَإِن تَزَوَّجَ إِمْرَأَةً جَازَ نِكَاحُ, and if he marries a woman, his nikah will be jaiz, married. فَإِن سَمَّى لَهَا مَحْرًا, if he mentions a mahr, جَازَ مِنْهُ مِقْدَارُ مَحْرِ مِثْلِهَا, it's permissible up to the amount of mahr mithl. So like we said, if the mahr mithl was 600, up to 600 it's allowed. Yeah, above 600 that's not allowed. Right, so only whatever's below 600 would be valid, the judge would allow. And the extra, what's going to happen to the extra? So he says, as for the extra, he says, batal al-fadlu. Alright, so that's with regards to a person who is a safi. Right, that's the difference between the two when it comes to the safi. Now what happens if the guy is like brought up? Yeah, he is someone who is like, he was a kid, but he was a safi when he was a kid, and he grows up and he's a safi. Then what? So he says, okay, so in this case, what we're going to do is, let me just find a nice color to write with. Okay, so he says, in this case, what we're going to do, Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, he says that you have to wait until he's 25 years old, right? And if no sense of any intellect comes into him that this guy knows how to buy and sell, right? Because that's the main way that you identify whether this guy is doing the right thing. So if you can't detect it, then at the age of 25, just give him his wealth and let him do whatever he wants. You cannot hold him back after 25. Okay, after 25, you cannot hold him back. So therefore, if he wants to buy, if he wants to sell, totally up to him. Right? So this is according to Imam Abu Hanifa. And according to the Sahibain, they say no. They say no, similar to the one above. I actually say yes. I'll put yes. Yes as in you can do hajar. Yeah, so he can hajar. He can't buy and sell. Okay, can't buy and sell. Or how do you give zakat from his wealth? So they say the zakat is basically the family, the guardians. They are the ones who will actually take his zakat out and give it on his behalf. Yeah, so they'll be giving out his zakat. What about spending on his family if he's got a wife and kids and relatives? Yeah, so they will do all the spending. All the spending will be done by the guardian, the plenipotentiaries. So they are the ones that will do all of that. And what if he wants to go for Hajj? So if he wants to go for Hajj, yes, he can go for Hajj. The judge will allow him. But the expenditure for Hajj will be given to another person. A trustworthy person will be given expenditure. And that's the guy who is actually going to spend on him over there. And what if he wants to make a will and leave money to someone? That will be allowed, but only from 1/3 of the wealth. Right? So that's basically the difference between... Abu Hanifa allows all of this. Abu Hanifa basically is very, very straightforward in this. He says there's only 3 people that Hajar introduction can be done to. One is a minor, one is a slave, and one is the Majnoon, the mentally unwell, right, insane. And that's it. So let's see what Abu Hanifa rahimahullah says. He says, إِلَّا أَنَّهُ قَالَ إِذَا بَلَغَ, except that he has said when a child reaches the age of puberty and he's not Rashid, he's not mentally all there. Yeah, so he's like kind of mentally, he's very simpleton. لم يسلم إليه ماله, his mal will not be handed over to him. حتى يبلغ 25 سنة, until he reaches the age of 25, right, like we said. وإن تصرف فيه قبل ذلك, but what if before the age of 25 he actually does investments? So he doesn't have his money is with someone else, but the guy's gone to do investments. Then what? So he says نفذ تصرفه, his investments will actually be executed. فإذا بلغ 25 سنة, once he reaches 25, سلم إليه ماله, his mal will be given to him. وإن لم يؤنس, even it cannot be sensed, rushd, even if intellect cannot be comfortably sensed inside of him, right, just give it to him and you can't do anything else, right? So Imam Abu Hanifa is quite, you can say, straightforward when it comes to adults. His argument is that adults, whether male or female, they should have the right to buy, sell, marry without anyone's permission. That's why Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, he allows the woman to marry without the consent of the wali as well. Okay, so what about these guys then? So qala, they said, في من بلغ, regarding the person who has reached puberty, غير رشيد, and he's a simpleton, he doesn't have much intellect, لا يدفع إليه مال أبدا, his wealth will not be given to him forever. So forever, as long as he's mentally, he's not incapacitated, or he's incompetent, won't be given to him. حتى يؤنس منه الرشد, until intellect can be sensed inside of us. What's that? You give him some money, he goes to the shop, he knows what to buy, he knows what to sell, he knows how much to buy it for. ولا يجوز تصرفه فيه, however, his own tasarruf will not be allowed in that wealth. وتخرج الزكاة, and zakat will be taken out من مال السفي, from the safi's wealth. وينفق, and it will be from there, expenditure will be given upon his children and his zawja. وَمَنْ تَجِبُ نَفَقَتُهُ عَلَيْهِ, and those people whom nafaqa will be given to, min ذَوِي الْأَرْحَامِهِ as well. فَإِنْ أَرَادَ, from his close relatives. So if he has to, like, legal obligations to provide for his close relatives, uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces, he does that. But he doesn't do it, the plenipotentiary, the guardian will do it. أَرَادَ, and if he intends Hajjat al-Islam, to perform Hajj, like Hajjat al-Islam is what we call the Fard Hajj. لم يمنع منها, he won't be stopped from doing it. ولا يسلم القاضي النفقة, the judge will not give the expenditure of the journey to him. ويسلمها, and he will hand it over إلى ثقة, to a reliable person, من الحج, of those going for Hajj. ينفقها, this Haji will spend it عليه, upon him, في طريق الحج, on the journey of Hajj. فإن مرض, if he gets ill, وأوصى, and he makes a wasiyah, بوصايا, with bequests, fil qurab, that are acts of good nature, like charity, etc. Qurab means closeness, and that's a word that's used for charity. Wa abwab al khair, and the doors of khair, meaning like areas of khair, again charity. Jaza dhalika, that's jaiz, fi thuluthi malihi, but from only 1/3 of his wealth. Right, so we mentioned all of this before. So let's just summarize what this is basically saying. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah and the Sahibain, they differ on regards to two cases. The case of the Safi, right? So you got the case of the Safi, person who is mentally incompetent, someone who is foolish in their mind, simpleton. What do they do? Abu Hanifa says, treat him like a proper adult. Don't touch his wealth. Let him do whatever he wants, even if he squanders it. Sahibain say, no, you have to step in. They're treating him like mentally unwell or like a child. So he's got a mind of a 7-year-old or 8-year-old. So just give him the wealth. They say, no, don't give him the wealth. Abu Hanifa says, give him the wealth. They say he cannot buy, he cannot sell, unless he's bought and sold something where there is benefit in it for him. Then that's fine. And if he does get married, that's fine. But the mahar has to be below the mahar mithl, no more than it. And what if there's a child who reaches the age of puberty and he is a simpleton, he's got the age of a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and he reaches puberty, 14, 15, 16, then what? Abu Hanifa says, do not give him his wealth. But if he was to invest his wealth, you can't stop him. And then at the age of 25, give him his wealth. If you can't detect any intellect inside of him, you have to hand over his wealth to him and let him do whatever he wants. And Sahibain say, no, the judge will stipulate a guardian or someone plenipotentiary, someone who will actually take care of that individual. And therefore, he can't buy, his zakat will be taken out by the guardians, expenditure for his family and relatives will be taken out from his wealth. He can go for Hajj, but he won't be spending on himself. Money will be taken from his bank and given to someone over there, and they will sort all that out. And if he makes a will, only 1/3 will be executed. Khalas. Okay, questions now. So, what does Abu Hanifa rahimahullah say about a person who is a Safi? So the answer is, Abu Hanifa says, it's allowed for him to do whatever he wants with his wealth. There's no restrictions on him. What do the Sahibain say? Sahibain say, yes, there are restrictions. And what if he buys something which is beneficial for him? The judge can allow that. Is he allowed to free a slave? Then yes. But then what happens to that slave? That slave will have to earn the money to pay back for his price. And what about, can he get married? Sahibain say yes. And what about the mahar? He only gives mahar that is below the mahar mithal, not above. Okay, what if there's a child that is mentally unwell? His mind is at the age of a 6-7-year-old, and he reaches puberty. What happens? Abu Hanifa says you wait until you detect some intellect. If you don't, at the age of 25, give him his wealth. And Sahibain say no, restrictions will be put on him forever, and from his wealth money will be taken to spend wherever it's needed. Khalas, that's it. So it's a very long dars today, isn't it? MashaAllah. And I thought, you know what, I've got to cover all this because all this is fitting together. I was actually thinking of doing it in 2 parts. What do you guys think of this lesson? Did I explain it in a way that's easily understandable, or was it a bit too fast? I hope I did it in the right way. Let me know, inshallah, either way, so that I can, inshallah, in future improve these videos. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Thank you to all my patrons who support my channel. May Allah bless all of you. You are wonderful, beautiful people. And anyone wants to become patron, please check out my description below. You can become a patron, you can support my channel, and Sadaqah Jariyah. And also on patrons actually get access to videos I don't put up on my YouTube channel. Right, so you can check that out as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.